Imagine having every bit of science and nutrition information coming at you at warp speed and being able to isolate the things that matter the most. That is what it has been like for me running this channel over the last 10 years. I've gotten to see so much information and I've created thousands of videos, and these are the 10 things that really stuck with me the most. The things that really stand out as things that work, whether it's from experts or just from my own research. So 10 years of running the channel, here's what stuck. Number 1, cheat meals are the wrong mindset. This is through my own experience and through the research. When you diet and then you have a cheat meal, you put yourself into a spot where your basal metabolic rate, your metabolism is slowed down, and then you have a surge of calories. We used to always think that that's going to ramp the metabolism back up. It doesn't. Your metabolism is now slower, and all that's doing is making that calorie bomb more potent because now you have less of a metabolism to handle it. So it ends up being more of a surplus. This is something that just really hit me hard about 4 or 5 years ago. I was always a cheat meal guy, and it was always a little bit harder to keep my body composition under control or in check until I realized that it works so much better to just have periodic small surpluses of calories. It works so much better, and it has come up so many times with different experts and top researchers and just people that look great and have been doing this for a long time. So reducing your calories and then having one major cheat meal might work every once in a while, but if you make it a habit, it's not going to increase your metabolic rate. It's just going to give you emotional satisfaction that might get you through the next week's diet, but long term, it's not going to help you out too much metabolically. It's better to just increase your calories here and there and not have these rampant major surges at one time. The next thing that I've learned that has come at me just and sticks through so much and is ingrained in my life is utilizing meat as the baseline. It's almost like you got to flip the food guide pyramid upside down. And you're welcome to not agree with me on this. That's totally fine. This is stuff that I've experienced and I've seen and I've talked to experts about. Now, whether it's meat, whether it's whey protein, whether it's dairy, as long as you're getting good quality protein, and one could even make the argument that even plant-based protein is going to be good. It's going to skew the macronutrient ratios quite a bit. So if we're looking at protein as the baseline, I would say almost every single expert I've talked to, even ones that are vegan, will still say protein should be our staple, at least the ones that have been in somewhat of my echo chamber. But it's the common thing that's come up is, if we can focus on this baseline, what is the key baseline food we should be eating? And it's protein, period. Now the next thing, everything changes and we know nothing. And I know that's discouraging, but if there's one thing that I've learned, creating thousands of videos and literally reviewing tens of thousands of different journals over time, is that we don't know everything and things are always going to change. But that's also what the beautiful thing is that we learn a little bit and then we learn more and we refine. And that's okay. And I also learned that the best scientists in the world will change their minds. And it's usually not a huge 180, but it's enough of a pivot to drastically change how they eat or how they think. Now, the next one that has come up tremendously over the years is gut barrier health. That just stands out so much. Yes, the microbiome is super important, but the microbiome is important because of how it impacts our gut barrier. Our gut barrier is the gateway to our inflammation or anti-inflammation. Right? If we have a disrupted gut barrier, we're inflamed. I don't need to spill the beans too much on that. I talk about it all the time. Take care of your gut. Bone broth, collagen, colostrum, a good probiotic, high fiber foods here and there, polyphenol-rich foods. Okay, these are really important. I put a link for the probiotic that I use as well. It's called Seed. It uses a capsule and a capsule technology. I've talked about it a million times before, but that's a 25% off discount link for Seed. Trust me when I say this is one of the quickest ways that you can impact your gut microbiome and ultimately improve your gut health too. So whether you choose to use Seed or not, that's totally up to you. But don't let that steer you away from focusing on gut health as one of the most, if not possibly the most important thing from an inflammation standpoint. So again, that link down below for Seed is 25% off. That multi-capsule formula makes it so you get the first phase, which has a prebiotic, breaks down first, and then the probiotic gets into the proper area of the gut and breaks down there. So that link down below. The fifth thing that I've learned that has come from multiple experts and my own research is that although calories really do matter, epigenetics also matter. And what I mean by that is you can change your genetics. Most of our genetics can be influenced by foods, can be influenced by sunlight. We have a constantly shifting and changing environment. When I had Dr. Lucia Aronica on the channel, she was amazing at explaining how our DNA can change. The yo-yo dieting that we've all fallen into this serious problem with over the years, well, that can be corrected with long-standing changes with the right foods. And if we can just get rid of some of the processed foods and add these foods that induce epigenetic change, we can respond to food differently. And although it sounds out of reach and crazy, I cannot deny the fact that it has come up constantly, that we can change our genetics a lot, rather our epigenetics, but so much of our genome is epigenetic related. The sixth one is actually the biggest one. It's the most important one. And that is that G-Flux matters more than anything, especially as we get older. And I know I talk about it all the time, and I'm going to say it one more time. Maybe not one. I'll probably say it 10 more times again. Eating more and moving more is the answer. It maintains muscle mass. It maintains metabolic rate. Is it harder? Yes, it is. It is harder to eat more and move more. But I promise you, the more that you eat, the more that you will want to move. The trick is in eating the right foods, not the foods that make you feel sluggish. So you want to eat more of the beef, eat more of the honey, eat more of the cottage cheese. Eat a little bit more and move a little bit more. And you're still going to burn calories because you're moving more. But you're providing your body with A, nourishment and nutrients, but B, you're giving it the metabolic drive to stay active. You're going to flux at this higher capacity. And as we get older, that's what we fall victim to, is we decrease our activity and sometimes we decrease our food and everything starts to flux lower. Be a beam of radiating energy and light and think that way. In the words of Bill Maeda, when you eat the food, you feel the fire and make it drive you to move. Which leads me to number 7, which has come up so much. Our cells love light just as much as they love food. Cytochrome C oxidase and all these different things that are formed as a reaction to light within our cells, within our mitochondria, have really proven to me that light is fuel. And it sounds chaotic and it sounds crazy in a nutrition world that is almost Newtonian in the way that they look at things sometimes, and so simple and not necessarily always applied, because sun is life force in so many ways. And energy comes from just how our cells perceive light or use light. We need food, we need electrons. I'm not saying that you could live on air and sun, but it is equally important in so many ways. And we're starting to see this, and it's becoming clearer and clearer with the experts that come on my channel and the way that the science is starting to go now. So although I don't have all the literature there and I'm not an expert in that field, I now know how influenced I am, at least personally, by the sun. Number 8, I've learned that if you control neurotransmission and you control your appetite, you have success. And all these different nooks and crannies and changes that we can make to our diet are all great and fine and dandy. But if you cannot get your appetite under control, you are not going to win that battle. You are not going to win against the power of the mind and the appetite. You can willpower your way through something as long as you want to, but eventually it'll catch up. So however you need to manipulate neurotransmission in a healthy way, whether it's sunlight, whether it's timing your food differently, that is the way to the long-term success. And the emotional gratification and satisfaction from certain foods every now and then so that you don't feel the need to splurge. Number 9, I've learned from pretty much every expert that has been an expert for a long time, that to have long-term success, you need to be able to maintain intensity. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that you need to be able to sprint forever. It means you need to be able to maintain the intensity of that sprint time after time after time after time. If your quality of your workouts or your quality of your intensity directed towards your diet diminishes, it means you're pushing too hard and you need to back it down. I would rather you be more infrequent with your workouts. Here's an example. Let's say you run 10 sets of 100-meter sprints, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By the time you get to Friday, you will almost certainly be slower, right? you did not maintain intensity. Intensity is a relative term, but you did not maintain intensity. You were broken down at some level, you weren't as intense. But if you took 2 days off in the middle, you might have been able to maintain intensity or possibly increase. If you're not improving or you're not at least maintaining intensity, you're going backwards. And that's something that comes up with nutrition, it comes up with exercise, it comes up with psychology. You need to be able to time chunk, train chunk, and even diet chunk so that you can focus and maintain intensity. Whether that's changing up or shortening your workouts or changing up or shortening a diet protocol, that's going to be it. And the last thing, I will stand by it when I say that food timing and circadian timing and biology there matters a lot. A lot. And it comes up all the time. Occasionally you'll get a scientist that's just simple about calories in, calories out, and food timing doesn't matter. But even with those people, if you get down to the nuance, things start to matter. A great example is Dr. Mike Ormsby, who's done tons of research on protein at night, saying if you have protein at night, it doesn't matter. As long as you get the protein in, everyone ends up the same with better body composition, with more protein, even if it's at night. But I asked him, well, what about carbohydrates at night? Well, that gets into a different territory. So the point is that although individual macronutrients might play a role, we can still kind of deduce that timing of nutrients matters. And I've learned this so much over the last 10 years. It used to come from a thing where it didn't matter as long as you got your protein in, as long as you got your macros where they needed to be. And now I'm like, the timing in which I eat will induce my sleep a certain way, will increase melatonin levels a certain way. And it matters more than anything to me. Well, I shouldn't say it matters more than calories, but it matters a lot to me because it really influences so much of my success in given areas of my workouts, my training, my diet, my life, my sleep, you name it. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. See you tomorrow.